Doctor Jazz.
Uh, Thanks
Doctor
for
Jazz.
sending the CD. First of all, I really love it. I played it so many times.
you.
Beautiful music.
Thank you.
I mean, I followed your music since the early House of Illusion, which was on Fresh Sound, because I was on Fresh Sound back then as well. And Jordi sent me a couple of CDs, or the later one was on Fresh Sound, I think. And really, really I like what you've been doing. But I want to start this talk by asking you first, where does the Portuguese connection come from? I mean, the band on the new album Into the Light, and what's the story behind there?
Right. Actually, this is my seventh record.
Yeah.
All the six records I made in past was all with the New York musician. But this, for the first time, I collaborated with a Portuguese-based musician because I have a relationship with the Portuguese musician since 2005.
Really? Oh, wow.
There is a really good friend who's a guitarist, Andre Fernandes.
Oh, sure. I know Andre. Yeah.
Okay, we've been friends forever. The first time he invited me to play in some little, really tiny mini tour in Lisbon and the Madeira Island. That was the first time I actually went to Portugal. That was back then, 2005. And since then, we've been, collaborating each other. Sometimes I going back to Portugal, do some gigs. So I always thinking in my mind that one day I would like to make a record with these people because, we are very good friends and we play each other so many times. And then especially Andre really understand my music direction. So we're like brothers and sisters, it's really good. So basically, 2019, after the several years, I returned to the Portugal with Matt and then set up some gigs and then play with him. It's a nice reunion musically, everything. And then after that, I would like to do exactly the same very next year, which is 2020, but then COVID happened. So we couldn't return until 2022 April. Then during the COVID, I wrote some more music. So I brought everything, and then we toured again in Porto, Braga, Lisbon, all kinds of places. And then I went back to New York. And then after that, I went back to Portugal again in December, same year, 2022. We did more, tour with Andre, Matt, and then this young, very fantastic drummer whose name is Joao Pereira.
Yeah, I know Joao, yeah.
And it's also quartet, four people. And we toured pretty much same places and, plus Ivora, like somewhere. We also taught some master classes and stuff. And then at the end of the chunk of tour, and then we went back to Lisbon, and then we went into recording studio, and then made this.
Okay.
Basically, we played a lot during the tour, and it was a good.
Yeah, it's I like it because it's a different sensibility. The obviously European musicians, it's a different vibe. Although Andre has quite a US influence style as well, but it's different. I like that you did it. Beautiful. You mentioned you wrote music during COVID, and you've written original music for a long time. And what are some of your processes? How do you approach a tune, you know, from both sides, writing melodies and harmony and lyrics, of course, which is a completely different beast. What's your approach there?
Yeah, regarding of writing music, you know, the process of writing music. Okay, so people think like, you know, I'm a singer-songwriter, but singer-songwriter, I feel a little bit kind of shy about, like, because so if I can be called a singer-songwriter, because lyrics is always at the end of my process. I am
okay.
I'm not kind of person like who's always writing some like a message and then in a notebook. I always come up with the music first, and I usually use you know, piano and then improvise on the piano, harmony, rhythmic structure. I just keep doing a lot of how do I say, just like an experiment by myself. There's so many, you know, if I like some of the idea, I just immediately write it down by hand. I write it down and also record it in my, you know, my iPhone. So just like, you know, immediately. So otherwise I'm going to forget.
Yep.
And, you know, rhythmic, melody, harmony, it comes all together. Basically, you know, keep doing that kind of process until I see some kind of like a landscape of the song, basically. And then as I do, music kind of like sound leads me to the next chapter. Not like okay, I'm gonna use this concept and then I'm gonna write it with this feel. I never done. I won't be able to do it. I don't know how to do it. So that's my music process. And then finally, I came up with something like, okay, this could be a song. But then lyrics, once you put the words and then start melting away my original, the scenic that I have been singing when I was just writing only music part, right? So sometimes I have to force myself to, because I think it's kind of cool to sing with some kind of words, because I'm a singer and then accompany myself a little bit with the piano, right? But as a matter of fact, you know, as you listen to my record, you know, some of my music doesn't have even lyrics because you know, there's no necessity to I don't feel like I need to put some words. But also, on the other hand, also I sing in English. Sometimes I write in Japanese. But I sang some kind of weird, it's just like I made up the word-ish, some kind of, but it's not traditional jazz vocal scat and anything.
Yeah.
Not like that. But because that's very organic to me. It sounds kind of crazy, and then, you know, a lot of people think, what is this Japanese, or is this what is this? But in a way, for me, I'm not so worrying about it, because that's how I crafting my music when I'm writing. It's a part of my process anyway, and that organically, that sound of the words or whatever that the enunciation, all kinds of a sound bottle, it comes with very comfortable, and then it fits with the melody that I'm using, playing and then singing. So that's completely organic, and I use that for idea, you know. I don't so shy about not to, okay, this is kind of crazy. No, why not? You know, it's okay.
Yeah. Is lyrics writing heavier than writing music?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Is it for you writing lyrics heavier for you than writing music, than composing?
Yeah. To me, you know, I wouldn't say that the lyrics is less important.
Yeah.
To me, it's hard work to write it. As much as, you know, okay, my imagination of this phrase at section A, once I put whatever the literal idea, the words. Now, I don't know if I wanted to say that. Something like a music sounds kind of consistently changing. So sometimes it works sometimes better. More like, okay, this makes sense. It is more stronger than, without the lyrics. But sometimes it goes backwards. So I have to be very careful on that. And then, but I always decide what to do is with my honest feeling, toward each song, it's different. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Who are your influences? Like, I mean, sometimes I listen to you and Johnny Mitchell pops to my mind. I don't know why, but like, but obviously it's different. But who are your influences musically? When
a lot told me have telling me, oh, you like Johnny Mitchell, right? Like you influence it. A lot of people somehow ask the question. Of course, I listen to her, but it's not necessarily I was a big fan of her. Like,
interesting. Okay.
I actually started for the first record I heard. First record of her I first heard was like probably Hijira or something like.
Oh yeah, with Jaco. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that's such a great track. Yeah.
Amazing music, but so I grew up since I was really young child. I grew up with the a lots of non-Japanese popular music. Like I grew up with listening Motown, 70s funk, rock. That's actually more my original, like a Queen and Led Zeppelin, all kinds of. And sometimes around when I was like in the middle school, I listened to Patti Smith, punk, New York punk, American, just like a top 40 and rock. So jazz was not there at all. I grew up with the classical music and then those kind of black music, rhythm and blues, rock, those kind of stuff. I was in a rock band when I was in school. I was playing drums and bass and a little bit of keyboard, but I wasn't really even singing. Like I was playing drums. I was in a rock band in high school all the time. And then I wasn't writing any. It's all cover band. We cover all the rock bands.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like more influence for me. So I feel like I consider myself, it's actually more like my attitude is like a rock musician.
Interesting. Wow. Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then after that, so like jazz is a later thing. Like, I suddenly encountered jazz music and started interested in, but mostly jazz vocalist. That's how I started listening to all the music, like Ella Fitzgerald, the Salamon, Carmen, all kinds of people, right? It's very typical. But still I was in Tokyo. I mean, I was in Japan, right? And then after I graduated college in Japan, I actually quit music for a while. Basically, I became I was working at the bank.
Really? Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Just like I was in the business world.
Wow.
I was working in a foreign exchange department in a foreign bank in Tokyo, just opened up. That was like 80. And so every day, I commute from my home to my office, in a crowded super crowded commuter train from Yokohama to Tokyo. That was my life for 5 years. But for the second year, since I started working at the bank, I got kind of like a little bit nervous breakdown. Not serious, but I got like really stressed out
Yeah.
because I felt like I needed to do something. So I started actually taking some kind of like jazz vocal lesson type of thing, private lesson type of thing. It's just a jazz teacher, jazz vocal teacher in Tokyo. And then I started gigging in Tokyo at night, and after my working time, after I got off from office.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I did 5 years, and then I was only singing nothing but the standard jazz with the house band. So I started, okay, that's fun, but I kind of want to really study about this. So that was a peak of Japanese economy, the bubble. And so the economy was so good in Japan. That was like mid 80 towards to the end of 80.
Mm-hmm.
Right before the bubble burst, right? So I was thinking, I said, you know what? I'm gonna quit this job and I would like to apply music school in America. And I told my parents or my friends and everybody thinks, are you freaking crazy? What are you going to do? Why you want to leave your job? You have a good job. And then, you have so many friends and then the parents are happy with blah, blah. Yeah, but, I feel like so mentally, psychologically, I felt like, you know what? It's kind of fun to just sing, just jazz music, jazz vocal music with the house band in Tokyo Club. But I felt like very, I don't see the future. I didn't read the future with that setting. So I was like, I wanted to have something, I want to go back to school and then learn something, fundamentally, specifically jazz music, jazz study. So I applied Berkeley, and in those days, I sent a demo tape with a cassette. I recorded one of my gigs, right, in Tokyo, and I put it in a Sony cassette, 45 minutes. I remember, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And then, like about several weeks later, I got the letter back from Berkeley, and I was scared, nervous, open, and I was like, yeah, you can come to study with us. I got accepted. So very next day, I went, as usual, I went to I went to work, and then I handed in my resignation.
Oh, wow. Okay. Heavy.
That's what I did.
Wow.
So that's around beginning of 1991, and I wrapped up my work at the office. And then grabbed the resignation money, and I flew to Boston in May.
Wow.
To 1991. Then it's from the summer semester. I don't want to waste my time, so I started take the regular classes with the other people. I haven't seen my husband then yet.
When did you meet Matt? On Berkeley or?
Yes, Berkeley.
Okay.
Yes, Berkeley.
Yeah.
You mean met Matt?
I mean Matt, your husband. Yeah, you met him at Berkeley. Yeah.
In the school.
Yeah.
I haven't known him until the last semester.
Oh wow. Okay.
For my senior recital, I never hang out with him. Never known him. So like our mutual friend who's Sekine Aya, she's a piano player, and I was actually looking for a bass player for my senior recital. So, and then my other friend bass player was out of town, so I couldn't ask him. So then so my friend just like, Akiko, have you ever heard that the Matt Pavolka? And no, who's that? And then that was the first time I met him in rehearsal together. The first song we played together in the rehearsal setting was A Body and Soul.
Oh wow, beautiful. Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and at that time I have no original music. I haven't even started composing anything.
Yeah.
In Berkeley, just taking at my major was a voice, so it's just singing, and then I never even took a piano class or anything. Pretty much self-taught. Everything.
Interesting.
Piano is everything self-taught. When I was really small, I was of course taking piano lessons in Japan, but I basically quit around like mid-teenager. I kind of like just quit. So yeah, I mean everything is just like I wanted to learn how to play piano again.
Yeah.
That I can accompany myself. I'm not like a pianist, but it's just easy to use piano for writing music. So for that matter, yeah.
Interesting. When did you then start leading bands? I mean, like House of Illusion I mentioned before. How did that happen? And you starting to write original music? What's the story there?
You mean House of Illusion?
Yeah. How did that band happen? I mean, and you becoming a band leader.
So after the graduate Berkeley, instead of return to Japan, I moved down to New York directly. And all the time, Matt was already left Berkeley one semester before me. So, I kind of like hook up with him again over there. And then I started, I was in urge, I need to make my original band. I make my band, whatever I play, So there are so many friends who just moved from Boston, Berkeley, including like Blake Lindeberg, the drummer, Pete Rende, the pianist, Matt Renzi, the saxophonist, kind of people, right? And Matt. And so I was thinking, yeah, okay, let's get together and play some, music. I was still singing covers, standards, or sometimes like, contemporary, some Matt song, Pete song, sometimes, and then so I was only singing. Pete was playing piano. And so that was at the beginning of House of Illusion. And then I made first debut album. The debut album is called, that was, I don't even remember when. It was 1996.
I think it's quite early. Yeah, 96, 97, yeah.
Something like that. That was my first recording. And then I made another one, next one also with the same member, but with Peter Hess, he's a saxophonist. And that's Bridge, the CD called Bridge.
Yeah.
So that was like a first, but after when I made the first record, the debut album, I started feeling like, you know what, I should write music, because I was like doing all my gigs in the East Village around that time. We have so many more venues around that area.
Yeah.
And But also I was enthusiastically keep going to see another colleagues concerts, and then even like most of the vocalist friends, they performed their original music with their band, right? So I was just I think I have to write a music, you know. And at that time, kind of like I have a less and less kind of interest to sing standard jazz because it's not my music, and then it's kind of sometimes it's such a little tricky and then hard for me to input my standing and then the feeling on like an old song, like Lash Life. I mean, like such a beautiful music, but I feel like, do I need to actually sing this already? Already music is established, and then already the great singer already sung. I don't feel like I have an old necessity to represent that song. So that's just me. I'm not criticizing others.
No, but I agree. I mean, it's true.
Yeah. It's just that. And then so I started little by little. I only contribute my original song for my debut album, just like only a little bit of it. And then I add more as I start writing more composition songs. Little by little I add. Now it's just a big volume of songbook.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Was it heavy for you in the beginning to become a band leader?
Become a what? I'm sorry?
Become a band leader. Was it heavy for you in the beginning?
Yes, because band leader as a singer, but it was hard for me to lead first. But well, let's put this way: there is a certain like a very transparent wall between Michael vocal booth basically, and then the rest of the band.
Yeah.
So like band, all my best friends are such a great. I love their playing and I love their musicality, everything. 100% trust in them. But all my job is just singing my music. So my focus is on basically more. I put more weight on, am I actually out of pitch, or like my vocal all the time. So there is even though we collaborate each other and this is my band, but still like I feel like, thank you for accompanying, that kind of from me, thanks, I appreciate. But the beginning of this, after the second album, so the third album, which is Begin Again.
Yeah.
I start to sing and then play piano for the first time in my life. I mean, in a recording, in terms of making a record, and that was the terrifying experience.
Sure. Yeah.
We actually record that. We didn't have enough money, so we recorded in a Pete's apartment, Pete's Rende's apartment, Brooklyn. So Matt,
Rende, yeah.
Then Matt Pavolka bass, and then me playing Pete's piano and sing, and then the big board in between. And try not to merge the sound. It's all the stuff setting up. It's just like such a homemade, crafted. Feel like I'm making homemade pickles or something. Yeah, we did from the scratch, right?
That's a nice album, that one. I like the music there. That Kung Fu. What is the name of that tune? I know Kung Fu. I like that tune. There's some other tunes, so it's a beautiful album.
Yeah. And then I suddenly, I have to have like this terrifying, recording moment. I have to do so many things, sing and play at the same time, for my ability. it's a lot of work, right? So then for some reason we made it, but as your questions like as a band leader thing, that was the time for the first my focus for the band leading or the performance or the crafting music. Totally, those I changed my idea for that moment. Since then, for the first time, I felt like, wow, I'm actually inside the band. So like playing the sound, my focus is not only my voice, it's more like about I have to listen to everybody. I have to be in the right moment. So tonical moment with other people. And that's like a part of the band work, band job. But I felt so happy about that. It's so like how do I say? I felt it was like a fresh air, but challenging, but fresh air, and it made me feel more like I really wanted to do this from really when I was young. You know, this is the thing I really wanted to do anyway.
Yeah.
So it was a great shift, you know, great my how do I say, like a challenging, you know, decision. And since then I'm just doing same type of, you know, I write my music, I play piano, even suck, you know, but this is my way of doing it, and I gotta do this.
Yeah, definitely. When you started, how was it? I mean, probably it was hard getting concerts, right, for you in the beginning, or how was it those first few months in New York when you arrived from Berkeley?
How long I feel like what get used to being a musician in New York?
No, I mean, like, when you came to New York, was it hard for you getting gigs and concerts in the beginning, or?
It was fascinating. And in Berkeley, I was just going to school, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Friends, just going to class, and but and also I was kind of like I was also working at night, get the tuition money, and I try to, you know, make my own ends meet. So anyway, but since I moved to New York, I felt more like wow, it's so much genre. First of all, there are so many professional people. It's not much student. That's one thing, and I really I was fascinated by that. There are so many genre of you say just it's a mecca of jazz. What jazz you're talking about, right? So there's so many possibility, so many genre, so many from free original. Of course, those American songbook standard too, but everybody is doing what they want to do, and then there's so many, you know. 30, we used to have a village voice.
Yeah. Yep.
And it have like a 30, 40, so many gigs you want to go see in every night. And like, oh my God, I can't afford it. You know,
Exactly.
many places I want to see this guy, this. But so I felt like this is the whole city is just like feel like a boot camp in a really realistic way.
Yeah.
It's we're talking about jazz music as a education. It's not about it's not academic thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's more like really working musician. They represent their amazing music. So I went to see so many gigs, Knitting Factory, all places, right? So wherever I could afford, to just go in and see. Sometimes vocalists, sometimes not more, instrumentalist. The band. Sometimes, Matt and I just like hanging around in village, just like a couple of gigs, and just went to see it, studying, that kind of thing,
Beautiful, yeah.
It's really fun time. It was time. It was a good time. And yeah, so that was my it's such a great it changed my mind, really, like changed my attitude towards the music, understanding how the music community it works, in New York City. We don't see the same thing in Tokyo neither. And then I think New York is kind of weird, strange place, because so many, people, musicians, first of all, the population of musicians is just like outrageous. I'm not only talking about jazz musician, right? There are classical musicians, Broadway people, it's just so many. And then everybody just comes from all over, from Europe, from Asia, from South America, So this is a special place,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. How has the in your view the situation changed in New York regarding the music scene for you, especially, getting concerts? And I mean, it's almost 30 years now after when you came to New York, a little bit under, but still,
Like,
how do you see that?
Personally, so in my mind, as a songwriter and as a vocalist musician, inside me is not so much change. But being, how do I say, musician in this New York music community, well, I always I've been kind of like a outsider. I am, because people doesn't understand. Are you doing? Are you a vocalist of like what, like a total avant-garde free jazz, or are you a piano bar singer, or are you a songwriter like a Nora Jones type of thing? What are you? And I am basically, I made a lot of people kind of confused. Like, what is she doing? Basically, I'm a little bit of a rock, I'm a little bit of jazz, but I'm collaborating like a total jazz musician, right? Because they are friends. They are my, and then but what I'm writing is sometimes like just like a little, like a Japanese, kind of Asian sound, but it's just a short song. This one is like a piano short song, little bit like a kind of a lots of like left-hand arpeggio. It sounds like a sonatina. It's just, what is this? And sometimes like a really chacarera rhythmic music, and sometimes it's a rock. So people just like, we can't categorize her. So I felt like, maybe a lot of, the venue booking people was a little bit kind of reluctant about like, I can't put her in anywhere. I mean, kind of like, confusion. I wasn't really sad about it. It's just okay. Yeah, but see, the thing is, I won't be able to actually write the other way anyway,
Yeah, that's who you are.
Yeah, I'm not, unless somebody asks me, can you actually write just like, one music or song for this visual, film or something, video or something. Then kind of like as a work, of course, and I've never done that kind of stuff, but if somebody told me specific idea, of course I will try, and then I will appreciate, I will appreciate and do that work. But you know, in terms of making music, making record or the music for myself, you know, for my band, for myself, you know, I never tried, or it's never occurred to me like, okay, I'm gonna make a music about diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to make a music about meditation. You know, I'm not, nothing wrong with it, but I'm not that kind of
Yeah.
right, or the musician. You know, it's hard for me to to put something already here, like a category, and then I have to kind of like write a music for that. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
how do people do that? I mean, it's for me, it's kind of hard things to do, and yeah, so that's the thing, you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What actually promoters should embrace in a sense, right? The diversity. It's the opposite effect many times. I mean, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
question also, like, you know, how I feel. Have I ever felt any changing in the New York musician community? You know, having said that, I felt sometimes recently people talk about music more than talking is more than before. I mean, the music itself, I felt like that. It's like my impression. Like,
Interesting.
felt just like without saying anything, but just play, bam, play this song, this music, this composition. And that tells you already everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think people talk about the music more now. You know,
Yeah.
this music about this. This music about that. And then I see that tendency in the music scene now.
Interesting. Yeah.
Thing to do with probably, you know, it's something to do with also that now the society we are living in the social media. Now we're living in we are living in a society of how do I say some kind of like I don't know, brand and presentation. Like, you know, you
Yeah,
need
it's
to
crazy. Yeah. I know what you mean.
you need to kind of prove that this is about this. I want to present this, but I'm not saying that's bad. But I felt like that is more people more weights on that, and then
Yeah. Yep.
and so sometimes, you know, when I listen to like, you know, olden days in the 1960s, you know, crazy, for instance, just like a music about, like, you know, all kinds of, you know, Coleman, all kinds of like,
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of those giants just played the music
Yeah.
tells you state by itself. And then
Mm-hmm.
I think that has more life, you know,
True.
instead of playing everything. I get sometimes really tired of seeing it or listening to those musicians, but yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah. I know exactly what you mean. It's true. It's true. It's a bizarre musical world we live right now. It's quite funny. But Akiko, I wanted to ask you. I talked a while ago with Steve Swallow, you know, and we were talking about his relationship with Carla, and I wanted to ask you about you and Matt. How do you? I know Matt plays in your bands, of course, bass, but how does how do you intertwine musically? I mean, do you discuss composition or do you show him tunes or How does this work for you?
For me, Matt is a very close existence. He's living in here, and we've been collaborating, work together, music for such a long time.
Yeah.
And this September we've been married 29 years.
Oh, congrats!
Such a long time.
That's a
And
long time.
so he understands my music direction. I think he's the best person to understand my music, I think.
Yeah.
But in terms of writing, composition, he's a composer too.
Of course, I know. Yeah.
We need to have a little distance because we need to, of course, you write music too, right? So you need to have your own space. So we're not trying to put our own neck to the
Okay.
That bass line is cool. Yeah, I'm not saying that so much. He's not really. He's kind of leave me alone, which is great.
Which is great, yeah.
Sometimes, we are living in this apartment, small apartment. I'm writing in my music in my living room, the piano room, and he's also practicing over there, right? So sometimes one of us go to the practice studio in Park Slope. So we're kind of trying to manage. Sometimes when I came up with the other kind of a question on the chord progression or something, the form or something. Sometimes I ask him, so what do you think about this? And then sometimes he gives me the good suggestion, but sometimes it's not so good. So sometimes my original idea was actually working better.
Yeah, sure.
One thing. So we share our, creative, routine. We in a really nice way, so we sometimes discuss about the music, but not so much about each other's work. We're not so much, yeah. So he writes a lot of music.
Yeah.
So that really influenced me a lot too. The way of the attitude towards to creating and keep working. Like he's a hard worker, and he's always studying in his own way, practicing, studying, writing. He's such a funny. Always, he's says sarcastic jokes, and then he's a funny guy, right? But he's a very sensitive, to me, very sensitive, creative musician.
Yeah.
I'm so glad, we collaborate with each other. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. How will you promote the new record? I mean, it came out this year, and do we have some gigs coming up? What are your plans regarding that?
Well, actually, August 19th, I have a gig with a gig at the Barbers in Brooklyn, which is like kind of like my home, how do I say, the venue, always I play over there with Matt and me, and then Matt, and then Bill Campbell on drums.
Oh, beautiful.
Ori Hirvonen, he's a Finnish young guitar player. And then we've been playing together in New York several times since last year. I really like this actually band.
Beautiful.
It works very well. And then right after that, Matt and I moved to flying to Tokyo, Japan. For 2 weeks, just hanging out over there. But August 24th, I played in my hometown, Yokohama, the Asian in Yokohama, and with the not this member. I cannot afford to bring my New
Sure.
York. So I am going to play with the Japanese musician friend in Tokyo, Fujita and Yamamoto and Honda. It's going to be a quartet. Me playing piano, sing. Matt plays electric bass, and then Fujita plays tenor saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
Also, and then drums, and then guitar. So it's a little bit different setting, but quintet. So then September 3rd, which is a day before we return to New York, we are going to play at the Shinjuku Pit Inn. That's the venue in Tokyo. The beginning of the travel and then the end of the travel, we have 2 gigs, but it's as matters, you know. It's I wanted to have fun with friends, you know.
Beautiful, fantastic. Well, hopefully you'll come to Europe soon.
I would love to actually one day travel.
Yeah, you're like I told Matt, you're kindly invited. We have a guest room here, so we can hang and play. And
I was actually talking about one day let's go see Samo.
Yeah, really. It's an open invitation. If we have a big house here in the country.
We are very interested in to go there.
It's a beautiful place. So yeah.
Cool.
But
hey.
Cool. Akiko, thanks for sharing some of these thoughts. I really appreciate it. It was so nice hearing you.
So much for having me. It was my pleasure, and it was so fun and great to see you finally.
Yes, you too. You too. Like now I connect you and your music, so that I'm always happy to do that. So it's so nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too. Say hi to Matt, okay?
Well, bye.
Okay.
Jazz.